Howdy folks, welcome to the brewery and today's version of the Whisky Jar. And what's happening today is I'm making up a corn mash for what will be, for a bourbon. I haven't made anything for a while, so yeah, you've been missing seeing stuff get made, then you're in luck because we're back into it. So what I'm doing at the moment is I'm going to run through using some products I've not used before and I'm going to go through and do three mashes, 3 stripping runs and a final spirit run on this sort of, what I'm going to call this batch. But what I'm using, now previously I've done a full mash using cracked corn, which is very labour intensive, makes a really nice product, but very hard brew day. So trying to avoid that. I've done the Uncle Jesse's, I've done the my version of an updated Uncle Jesse's by adding some mash, barley and rye to the corn. Today I'm using different product, trying to get an easier mash but still get a much more distinct, authentic corn flavour. So what I'm using is this stuff, Malted Maize. This comes specifically from Gladfield malting in New Zealand, and so what it is, it's basically a cracked corn that's malted just like all other grains. So what this means, supposedly, is that you can use this directly in the mash. Now, without having to do a cereal mash at 85 degrees, without having to go for gelatinization, without having to use enzymes to get this stuff to convert. This will convert on its own. And should give us a really nice, good corn flavour. How the malting itself will affect the flavour will remain to be seen, but the reality is it really shouldn't make any difference, because it should just be, all the malting should have done is made the sugars acceptable. So technically the malting has just done the gelatinization step for us. Same as using actual flaked corn, flaked maize. This stuff has been gelatinized and it's done a little bit differently, but it uses steam to release the sugars and then it's rolled out and now you get this stuff. And this stuff is quite easy to work with. I've used it before with good success. So what I'm doing today is I'm looking to do a 23 litre mash, and I'll be using 4 kilos of the malted maize, 1 kilo of the flaked maize, 800 grams of Veloria from Yoyager malt, so that's barley, and I'll also be using 500 grams of Gladfield rye. So what that gets me is, it's basically 13% barley, 8% rye, so 79% corn. So that's a nice grain bill percentages for a good bourbon. I'm really happy with that. That will get me, I'm looking to get an original gravity of about 1045, which should get me somewhere just under 6% alcohol in the final wash, I hope, as long as I get complete conversion, which I should. I've got to use a little bit more of this Gladfield malt because it's got actually a low conversion, and you only get about you get about 60% conversion rate on the corn, as you would say for barley. So you've got to use a fair whack of it. So if I was using this amount of like barley to do a brew in the same, a beer in the same size, I'd probably be up around 1055 on the original gravity and 1060, and somewhere around 7.5% beer. So this gets knocked down a little bit. So going to be interesting to see how this goes overall, whether it does get the conversion that it's meant to and whatnot. So I've got 32 litres of water in the mash tun. I'm going to get my barley out and my rye. I'm going to mill it. I'm going to run this malted maize through the mill with the rest of the with the barley and the rye, just to make sure all these bigger kernels are actually cracked. It does suggest on the website to give this a mill with everything else, and the flaked maize is just going to go in, and hopefully we'll get good conversion as we go through, and we won't need to add any sugar. This as a target, I'm very happy to get 6%. I know a lot of distillers want to get a higher percentage in their mash, high percentage of alcohol. That's fine, but I want to keep this as locked into the proper ingredients as I can. I could increase the level of everything. Anyway, I'm happy to keep the alcohol down in the wash, get a little bit, maybe get a little bit less product at the end, but get good product. So anyway, I'm going to go and get this all milled up, and we'll come over shortly, and we'll go and have a look at getting the mash in. We'll roll on with it. Alrighty go. We are ready to get this mash underway. Water is sitting on 70 degrees, just for the sake of arguing. I've got the bag in. I'm going to do this brewer bag style, simply so I can pull it out nice and easy, and I'm just going to boil in here once I'm done. So keep it nice and simple. Bucket, this is our malted corn, barley and the rye. Get this mashed in. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to mash this for, well, probably an hour. We'll see how we go. What I'll do is I'll try and keep the temperature around 65, 66 degrees, somewhere around there. Exact temperature doesn't overly matter. It could be anywhere in that 60 range is sort of going to work, but I'd prefer to be on the lower to mid side than on the higher side. So start at 70 because it will drop down fairly quick with this grain added. So I'll turn the element on and off as I need to get, to maintain temperature. I could circulate, but I'm not going to bother. Just going to let it sit. There's no great need to put in any more effort than I need to. It's the whole point of using that malted corn and the flake stuff. And I don't need to muck around. So that's our 1 kilo of the flaked maize. So what I'll do is about every 15 minutes I'm going to come back, give this a stir, and I'm going to take a refractometer reading and just see how we're going for conversion, where we're getting sugars and stuff, and just see how that progresses as we go through. So I think the original target was 1042 was what software is telling me we should get for our original gravity. So we'll see how we go. So I'll See you shortly. Alright. 15 minutes in. Although we're sitting around 65. That's alright. Mash is looking all good. So I'll just give her a good stir up again. I'll do that. And we'll get a quick, let's just check here. That's travelling. Right now that's about 10:28. So we're getting some reasonable sugar extraction at the moment, so we'll see how that continues. We'll give it another 15. I've had a fucking brain fart. I turned the element on when I walked away from the last check, and then I forgot to come back and turn it off. Let's see what I don't know where the temperature's at. So it might not hurt, might get us up into some sort of gelatinization territory, might do some magical things. Where are we? It's not too bad actually. Sitting around 70, 71. That's alright, we've got away with that. All good. Let's see where we're travelling here. We're just over 30 minutes. And we're still at 10:28. Okay, so that's a bit lower than I would have liked. Would then want to come up in the last sort of 15 minutes. Anyway, we'll leave it run. And see how we go. Not too concerned just yet. Righto. Mash is done. I stuck a little bit of Alpha Amylase in. I know, I was trying to avoid it, but just a bit concerned about not getting as much conversion as I'd like. So it really hasn't gone into the temperatures it would be best to do that, because you'd normally do it up around 85 degrees, higher, and then let the temp come back down. But and if I could actually fucking see, that'd be handy. Don't put your refract over. And okay, bingo. 10:39. Okay, that's interesting. So, yeah, would it certainly appear that you definitely going to do better with the Alpha Amylase. So 10:39. That's the refract. I mean, I'm going to confirm that once I actually get a end of the boil and cool with proper hydro reading. And I don't know if I'm going to get target volume. 10:35 I believe was, well, it might be 10:39 target pre-boil. Not sure. Let me not quote anything just yet. Let's just stick with the Alpha Amylase. Certainly has made a difference. So it was only 2 grams. It was only half a pack. It was like half an old pack I had sitting around. I didn't know whether it would work. It was dried, so it clearly has. So that's interesting. Something to certainly look at and work on later on. Future versions of this. Okay, that's holding a fuckload of water. Oh, little John ain't as strong as he once was. There we go. We're out. No one's dead. Alright. I'll leave that to drain. And I'll get it to come into a boil. Gonna boil this for about 15 minutes. Just make sure we kill any bugs that are in here. I think that should be enough to get what we need. Righto folks, our mash is now cooled, so we're ready to carry on. Got here 200 mils of cooled boiled water, about room temp, 20 grams of USW6 American whiskey yeast. I'll always use USW on the whiskey. Now, there's other options for yeast, but I like to use USW. I mean, it's yeast specific to what we're brewing. So, I'm happy to go that way. Now, this is a little bit old, this yeast, so I want to get a rehydration going just to make sure I've got some viability. But I'd recommend doing this anyway. You can just go straight in, pitch it straight onto your into your wash, but just like making beer, doesn't hurt to make sure your yeast is happy and ready to go. So I've just got the fermenter over here, just sprayed with some sanitizers, so I'll give it 5 minutes to drain, then we'll transfer over and have a look at what we've got in the way of numbers and volume. Righto. Transfer is on. Sitting in the mid-20s here, so I'm happy enough with that. We're going to ferment this in the garage, so it's all good. It's nice and clear. Volume, I think we're going to be approximately a little bit under volume, but we'll see how we go. Righto, that's transfer done. Just over 20 litres. I'm pretty happy with that. Let's see what we got here as far as gravity. Let's call that 1044. I think we were looking for 1045. So that's pretty close. Could be happy with that. Yeah, we're looking for 1045, so a bit under. I'm happy with that, given it's the first run with the malted corn and through this system, so still working where we're going, so that's all right. 1044, 20 litres. We're going to get about 5.9%. Going to get about bit under 1.2 litres of alcohol out of that, which I'm bloody happy enough with that. So all good. So yeast is coming along, getting a bit creamy. I'll let that sit for another 10, then I'll pitch it. Now I'm just going to let this sit at ambient on the garage floor here, simply because I don't have a fermenter to put it in. Ferment fridges are both full at the moment. Ideally, it wouldn't hurt to go in the fridge. Ambient out here in the garage at the moment, sitting around 18 degrees. Ideally, I'd get this up in the low 20s, 22ish. But it's not going to hurt it. It's going to go fine, Badine. That might just take an extra 3 or 4 days to get through the ferment, and that's not a real problem. So anyway, guys, done. So at the moment, as far as the mashing goes, that malted corn and flake corn combination, dead set winner. That was so much freaking easier than playing around with cracked corn and the cereal mash and boil and stir and constantly trying to make sure the shit doesn't burn. That was just easy, and quite simply, if you wanted more ABV, it would have just been a case of increasing all the quantities, increasing the quantities by 20% across the board, and we would have been sitting somewhere we're going to get 7% alcohol instead of that 5.9. So that's clearly a preferential thing, how you want to go as to how strong you want to make it. I know that 50 litre pot, I certainly could have pushed that a lot more. Don't know how it would have gone lift in the bag, but I could have just drained off into the separate boiler, and it would have worked quite alright. So yeah, but no, I'm stoked, because that has just brought corn mash into the easy category, and that's always been a big issue with working with the corn, and I think that's why Uncle Jesse's is so popular, because it's just so easy. This is very simple. You make beer, you make this, no problem at all. So guys, done. So I'm going to let this ferment now. I'll do a stripping run on this. I will do a quick video on the stripping run when we're doing it, and I'll probably do another video on the next mash, because I'll make some adjustments based on where the numbers have been today and see how we go, and that will also incorporate some souring from this batch. So guys, any comments or any questions, stick them down below. Big thumbs up to our Little John's Patrons. Guys, the supporting the channel, keeping everything going, make sure we can do all this playing around. If you're not subscribed, hit the subscribe button down the bottom there. If you're watching the video, give me a thumbs up. But anyway, till I see you on the next video, cheers and good brewing.